The underreporting of Nigeria inflation numbers by the National Bureau of Statistics. This news was carried out by the Nigeria Youth Economic Development Forum. According to Paul Alaje, chief economist at SPM Professionals, it would be unprofessional for him to state that the National Bureau of Statistics is underreporting inflation figures. The latest figures released by the NBS for December 2025 shows that Nigeria inflation rate stands at 15.15%. However, when one examines the figures for November 2025, under the same trend, inflation is shown as 17.33%. Nigerians may recall that last year, the inflation figure for November 2025, according to the NBS, was 14.45%. This makes it confusing to see that with the latest trend release, the inflation figure for November is now 17%, instead of the previously reported 14%. So let's look at the perspective of Paul Alaje. The new inflation figure reflects a review of the rebased inflation series. For November, the figure earlier released was 14%, but with the rebasing, the year-on-year figure now stands at 17%. What the Bureau of Statistics has done is to review the inflation series from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, which explains why the figures have changed. This means that the actual inflation experienced in November 2025 would in reality have been closer to 17%. Paul Alaje reiterated that it would be unprofessional for him to accuse the NBS of underreporting inflation figures. Rather, what is occurring is the normalization process associated with inflation rebasing. When inflation data is rebased, the period becomes an outliner, and the figures may not fully reflect lived experiences until the year-on-year trend stabilizes. He noted that a clearer picture would emerge around March and April. Based on the rebased figures, which initially showed 14%, Paul Alaje emphasizes that what Nigerians should focus on is the fact that the NBS has acknowledged the need to revisit its earlier data. Upon reviewing figures from March 2025 to November 2025, the Bureau found the need for normalization, which lead to the adjustment or which lead to the change of the inflation figures. What the NBS should do right now? The NBS should issue a formal publication or circular to clearly explain the statistical implication of the rebasing and the reason behind the changes in the inflation figures. According to the process followed, the NBS states that this approach aligns with international best practices as outlined in the Consumer Price Index guidelines of the International Monetary Fund, and that the rebasing was carried out in compliance with IMF-approved standards. Nigeria youth, please take note of this information. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.